Hi Space Pilots, my name is Jonny and I want to give you all a quick preview of one of the big features we are currently working on. So the game currently looks like this. We have these black borders around the actual game as we have a max resolution of 1280 by 900 pixels. So as many of you will know, this resolution restriction is down to gameplay reasons. So let's talk about those reasons. So the weapon ranges in DO are so big that you can shoot someone that you can't even see on your screen. So I tried to fly away from this destroyer and shoot him. There you go, shooting him, can't see him. He can't see me. So if that's another player, he doesn't know who's shooting at him. So that would mean, this means without the current max restriction, players with a larger resolution would see more space map, and thus would gain an advantage over players with smaller resolution, as they would be able to shoot the victims, but the victims couldn't even see them, couldn't even target them. But it gets worse. What happens if someone is using an external auto-lock tool? So the max resolution restriction doesn't even help us here at all. I really hate it when I get destroyed by a player that I can't even see, because he's outside of my viewport. So it's 2013 and we want to modernize DarkOrbit. So we've thought long about this problem and we think we have a solution. We want to allow larger resolutions than the current maximum, but we also want to eliminate the problem of being destroyed by a ship that you can't even see or target. So the solution we came up with is to reduce the ranges of all weapons in the game. So even if you do have a larger screen resolution, or if you're cheating and using an auto-lock, you'll have to fly within the target's viewport in order to start your attack. So this is obviously a big change. Here is how this change is going to look. You can see that the game takes up the full size of the browser, so no more ugly black borders. Also, full screen no longer has this ugly pixelization, so it looks just the same as ever. You just see a tiny little bit more space map. But now for the more controversial changes. The ranges have been reduced by 35%, and we've also reduced the ship sizes by 25%, so that we don't have these really large looking ships with ranges that feel too small for them. So let me show you what happens when I try to shoot something that's way out of range. You might be able to see these little red UI display just before the destroyer. That's showing what my range is, and when I get in range, I can shoot. We just thought it would be a helpful thing for usability so you can see what your range is whenever you're shooting. So we realize this is a really big change. There will be open beta for this, so we want to get at least a few thousand players on the test servers to give us feedback. However, I hope that when you keep the reasons I've just given in mind, that you'll see this is a positive step for DarkOrbit. The game will look more modern, which means we can attract more new players. We remove one of the big advantages of using auto-lock tools, but without giving a huge advantage to players with bigger resolutions. It is true that such players with bigger resolutions will see more space map, but in order to start an attack on another player, they will definitely have to fly close enough to that targeted player so that the targeted player can see him and target him back. This is even true if the targeted player is using a very small resolution. This change will mean that there is no longer a resolution setting in the settings menu, as you can just simply drag the browser, smaller or larger. If you resize the browser less than 1280 pixels in width, the game will zoom out so that you still get a decent amount of space map. So even if you're using a small resolution, you'll still see about as much as somebody with a big resolution. So expect an announcement about the open beta for Game Resolution 2.0 in the next couple of weeks. Over and out.